¿Qué onda, wey? Welcome to the first episode of my Road to Glory Gem series here in FIFA 17. So, first, you're going to see the budgets of the majority of the teams in basically League 2 in England, with the exception of the few highest transfer budget teams. So, first player is Emmanuel Osadebe. Basically affordable for every team, very low wages, not very high value, but he has amazing physical stats. You can see 19 years old with almost all green in the physicals, with the exception of reactions there. So, an absolute beast physically, to go along with that 6'2" frame, right-footed, medium work rates, 3-star weak foots, and 3-star scumas. Obviously needs quite a bit of work technically, but with those type of physical stats, you can definitely track back, do a lot of work, at the least be a very nice defensive sub late on in games. We'll actually have some highlights, some gameplay of him in a bit after we take a look at just a couple years of his growth. So I mean, doesn't have the biggest gap between that overall potential, obviously, but +1 at the end of that first season gets some even more growth to his physical stats. High stamina, 98 stamina at the moment. So he's going to be a beast physically. He's going to be able to run up and down the pitch. Could even be like a wing back, and actually grows quite a bit in some areas. You see the dribbling isn't too bad. The short passing is improved. Finishing, of course, improves like the majority of center mids in game also. So yeah, he's an absolute beast with that maxed out stamina, and of course big, tall, decent in the air, can call his own goals like in that highlights. And tracking back, he's an absolute beast. Can basically defend some of the best wingers in game and push them off the ball, track back with that speed, push them off the ball, and just basically recycle the ball back into possession in that manner. So it's very good to have a player like him, which is how good he was in that manner, being able to push up and down the pitch, constantly winning the ball for me, as you can see here to round out some of this highlights. You see one more here, and again against some very good players, tracking back, winning the ball, and able to play a good pass to push things going forward. So exactly the type of play he could bring to you, as he would end up capping at the 69 overall, age 24, almost all dark green in the physicals with the exception of balance and reactions. Technically, he's actually an okay dribbler, of course, a good finisher. Passing isn't too bad either. Doesn't have the best marking and tackling, but with the pure stamina, pace, and strength he has, he easily, can dominate players in that sense. As you can see, again, 6'2", he's basically affordable for every team in this game. So yeah, you'd be missing out if you don't buy him, or at least even bring him in on loan or something. I mean, I would just buy him if I were you. He's going to be a cheap player. I don't want to show basically the transfer negotiations, because I don't want you guys to have to overpay. But you can see now Philip Billing, a little bit more pricey for some teams maybe, 575k, but still low wages also. If you want to loan him in and maybe do a future fee, you can do that. But he's an interesting player. He's pretty strong, has okay physicals and technicals apart than that, but he's also 6'6", left-footed, medium work rates, 3-star weak foot, 2-star skills. He's a guy that I think you could really train up into an absolute beast of a center back. I mean, he has the good strength already. The stamina, of course, will go up. You can't really gauge the pace improvements. Of course, you can't train pace or anything, but either way, if you train that marking and tackling quite a bit, you can turn him to a wonderful center back, in my opinion. Of course, with that big frame, solid strength, which should only improve over the years. You could be a very good threat in that manner, but of course, he grew without training. He grew, more in the lines of a CDM. He didn't grow as much in the marking as I would have liked, so that's exactly why I think we're training for you guys will come into play. He's up to 68 overall, age 22. Grew fairly slowly, to be honest. Took a while for him to reach that potential, so I do think training for him, especially if you want to play him as a center back, which I think I would honestly do that. I would train him up as a center back and turn him into a B center back if I were you. But of course, it all depends on your preferences. I just want to show how they grow without training here to make things a bit easier. But he can play some good passes going forward. He ended up with being a very solid technical player. So he just again has that kind of two-way ability to him, with the way he can win the ball and push forward a little bit for you, play some nice passes, get into those tackles, get those interceptions and all that. So 77 overall, age 28 is what he'd cap out at. Unfortunately, again, marking did not end up as high as it would have been if you would have trained, of course. But 88 strength without training, not too much improvement to the pace, but stamina go up quite a bit also. Again, 6'6", and some decent stats all around as he ends up with that strength especially. But I think training him in that in the tune of more of a center back with better marking, and I think he'd be an absolute beast. There was still some nice stats with the passing, good ball control, and slide tackle and stand tackle aren't too bad. But of course, mental stats suck, and you could obviously turn him to a much better CDM or center back with training, get those interceptions up a bit. But another player here, Moha Liara, another guy who's very affordable for the majority of teams in those lower leagues, and very low wages also if you do decide to just bring him in on loan. 6'1", as you can see, And you take a look at the physical stats. Nice pace. Agility isn't too bad. The balance is a bit low. Good strength also. High jumping. Unfortunately, didn't have too many highlights with him, so I do apologize for the lack of highlights in the gameplay. But still very solid. Again, 6'1", right-footed, medium work rates, 3-star weak foots, and 3-star skill modes. So pretty good stats. Another guy that you can maybe train up a bit, however, to your liking. Obviously, doesn't have the highest potential, but I just want to show different type of players rather than the usual kind of youngsters, wonder kids that I do in my other videos. So apologize if you're expecting to see those type of players over and over again, because it gets very boring for me just making the videos. But +2 up to the at age 22. Some nice improvement to the pace. Strength, of course, goes up a bit for strikers without training. Finishing going up. But certainly, I think it would be a good idea to train him a bit. So he's turning into a decent player tactically. The finishing isn't too bad. The passing is pretty awful though, but he's still getting some nice improvements all around. Physically, of course, the pace and strength will go up a bit, but you can see making a very good run, getting behind that defense with that speed and being able to put the ball in the back of the net. He did feel pretty good on the ball, especially later on in his career. On his counterattacks, he can be very potent. You see him cutting back in, taking some touches, and just doing some good combination play, and eventually grabbing an assist there in that highlight to Osadebe, of course, who you guys saw earlier if you're still watching the video. But he ended up capping at a 72 overall, age 27, very pacey, very good strength, decent dribbling, decent finishing. Of course, you can get that finishing up a lot more yourself, as the shot power, long shots, and volleys aren't too bad either to round out this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really do like making these videos, but sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with the other recommendations. So I want to try to bring this series back more, but some people get a bit annoying, to say the least, with how they want me to request their other kind of wonder kid type players as soon as possible. So it's up to you guys. Kind of depends on how well this series does, on how often I'll do it. So yeah, if you really want to see the series constantly, leave a lot of likes and comments and stuff, and I'll make sure to bring this back to be a weekly series. But with that, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll be signing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.